You always were a rude one. Patricia's already in a trance. Outside voices can't reach her.
You didn't. Sang Rouge?
She's got a resistance to the stuff. Might be due to the blood she inherited from her parents. Or it might be Sang Rouge was designed that way on purpose. Lena was the one I loved.
Patty, are you all right?
Die! The worst father, graced with the sweetest daughter. Life can be a bitch sometimes. But it wasn't all bad.
Breathe. Let me go.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Deadly Premonition 2. This is Pear and we're back in the sequel segment of Deadly Premonition 2. And we're still investigating what's up with this room. And I guess we're searching for clues on where Patricia Clarkson may be. And it turns out she ended up taking over the Clarkson Empire, which is pretty impressive.
I've seen the bedrooms of countless violent criminals, but this one is on a completely different level. It's beyond insane.
What's that?
A hunting trophy, a brown bear with a dragonfly eye patch.
Why is it smoking a cigar?
It's probably supposed to represent Philip J. Clarkson's body.
And the elk is?
Helena Doman.
So that's why it's got such good taste in fashion. And this one is Galena Clarkson?
Why did he want to line up corpses that were killed in different places, all together in a single room? Red seeds? Rope tied around a lighting fixture.
That looks like a peace sign. I think I remember peace sign being in the first game.
What could it mean?
Oh, if you turn on the light, it makes the whole room red, right?
You sure it's okay to press that?
Won't know until we try.
Hey, it's Woodstock. Look, a peace sign. Love and peace, man. Even I can figure out what this is from. It's Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Grateful Dead, and Led Zeppelin. But I shouldn't have to explain it to a music nut like you, right?
That isn't a peace mark. It's upside down. You don't need to be a music nut to see that.
Who says that's the top part? If you're looking from Lisa's head, this is the top part, making it a big, fat peace mark.
No, this is the ground.
Where's your proof?
The red seeds. Seeds go in the ground, right? That makes this wall the bottom. Lisa's head is clearly at the top. Period. Also, Agent Jones. Led Zeppelin never played at Woodstock. He's representing a human with a hunting trophy made from an animal. I feel like I'm looking at a piece of modern art done in really bad taste.
It looks more like he's recreating something so he can figure something out. Oh, there's something on the right.
He was going back over the Le Carré case together with the Greenvale case. Just as I thought, these two cases are connected, but in a different way from what I originally thought.
Are they?
Anna Graham, the first victim of the Greenvale case. Her body was found hanging from a tree, like a goddess being worshipped in a sanctuary. Meanwhile, Lise Clarkson was found on the bank of a river in an area that had been fashioned into an altar. The person who gruesomely ended the life of that young woman must be brought to justice.
I completely agree. They both still had their whole lives ahead of them.
The Le Carré case and the Greenvale case. According to my investigation, the one key that links both cases is Francis Zach Morgan. But if we look at the cases from his point of view...
Did they not know that he was also called Francis York Morgan?
We see one more connection. The red seeds are also present in both cases. I believed that he was the one who brought them to both towns. But maybe... No, never mind.
I'm not sure what she was thinking of. And what else is there? Oh, it's just those three things?
According to Morgan's story, she was the mastermind behind everything. The whole purpose of her plan was to protect her declining clan from their imminent downfall. She had to kill all her family members in order to purify the bloodline, so that in the end only the goddess of fertility would be left behind. I don't buy it. This plan has so many holes in it, I don't know where to begin. Yes, Katrina may have carried all of the evidence away, but I still can't believe he was actually able to turn in this fairy tale as an official report.
The story does feel like it has many holes. I don't know if the game itself is calling out on it.
He was taught how to rule as a child, never confided in anyone, and married for purely political reasons. Then he prospered so much that he became powerful enough to rule an entire town on his own. But in the end, his own child betrayed him and ended his entire clan in a series of violent deaths. If that was your life, how would you look back on it?
Yeah, beats me. I wasn't born into a rich family, nor was I ever taught how to rule. And for what it's worth, I've also never knocked up a young ex-actress. But I guess the one thing we can say is that any good life needs balance.
I just had a thought. Everything in York Morgan's segments are told through Zach's story. York's parts seem like a film in itself. Like when PJ Clarkson appears, it just feels like we're watching a film, and that's because York is such a huge fan of films and he references things non-stop because it's all told through, I guess, Zach or even York's point of view. It's nice to think about it that way.
Get too hung up on one thing and you lose sight of everything else. And if you betray someone, you'll get betrayed too. Someone thinks they can step all over people and then live out the rest of their life in peace. They're fooling themselves. We always get to see how those people end up in our line of work. In the end, they die horrible deaths.
What the pizza
That
delivery
is why
does.
Pizza is the only thing I trust. Pizza never betrays you.
She planned a string of murders all in order to restore the Clarksons to their former glory, right?
Yeah. According to Morgan's story. Matches up with the files, too.
But the only proof of that is the confession she privately gave to Morgan just before she died. Galena Clarkson was also murdered immediately after she confessed. Don't you think it's all a little too convenient?
Well, story-wise, yeah.
And the sacrifices. None of the FBI's official records contain an example of an actual human sacrifice. Aside from the cases that Francis Zach Morgan handled, that is.
There are tons of examples of animal sacrifice, though. And remember the witch hunts back in the Middle Ages?
Meaning?
Meaning, there are always exceptions to the rule. And Morgan alluded to the existence of some sort of journal, right? I think he said he read it in Professor R's lab. If we could find that, maybe this would all become easier to swallow.
The report didn't mention anything about a journal. And if it truly did exist, it surely would have been submitted as evidence, unless he tried to cover it up on purpose. Or...
Unless the journal never existed in the first place.
Exactly. This case took place in Lucare and centered around the Clarksons. Oppressive authority, cross purposes, madness, and love. But Katrina took the truth along with many innocent lives and buried it all at the bottom of the swamp. But there's one truth that can never be washed away. This all started with the death of a young girl. A woman so beautiful she felt like she could make it as an actress in Hollywood. Sometimes it seems like God abandoned. I feel it more and more. The 16-year-old girl who was murdered in Lucare in 2005. After that, she remained frozen for 14 years, waiting for someone to discover her. I was the one who found her, which means I have a duty to lay her soul to rest.
Was she
Everyone
pregnant?
thinks that the principal thing to the tree is the fruit. But in point of fact, the principal thing to it
Okay,
is
never
the
mind.
seed.
I'm just
Now I
wondering
know
about
why
that
Lise
dead
Clarkson
squirrel
was
and
murdered
like
first.
the little midsection there.
Lisa's death was Professor R having second thoughts. According to Morgan, her plan was to perform parricide and filicide, then commit suicide. Those were the 3 deaths necessary to complete the ritual, remember? Which means she technically could have killed Patricia first. That would have been the best way to delay any interference from the Clarksons themselves. The reason she didn't kill Patricia first is because Lena was actually following a different plan inside her own mind. Or perhaps she merely changed her plan as she followed through with it. At some point, new emotions started to take root within her. She had second thoughts about something. And in order to shake those off, she used Galena to kill Lise first, in order to cut off any possible escape. But that only made her plan move ahead quicker than she could have ever imagined, which forced her to rush right up to the end with those misgivings always in the back of her mind.
Huh? Wait, hold on. Yeah, you lost me. What are you talking about?
In other words, at some point, Helena Doman decided that she wanted to make Patricia the next heir. The blood purge wasn't for the goddess of fertility. It was for their daughter, Patricia.
Wait, are you saying Helena knew from the start that Sheriff Woods would die with Candy?
That's the only explanation I can think of.
Huh.
Remember, this is only assuming that everything Morgan told us was true. Until I can trust that man, this is all nothing more than conjecture.
Considering how insane this all is, it sounds perfectly believable to me.
Francis Zach Morgan. Remember me? Oh, cat got your tongue.
How can we ever forget you?
Understood. You know why I'm here, don't you? Surely you must know what this means. To commemorate our reunion, allow me to give you another oracle. The contract, once signed, will last for eternity. But only in the presence of true love. Did you hear that? It's been a while since I felt this. You know, there's hardly anyone in this era who can see me like you can. And they've been dropping like flies since you first came to see me. Breaks my heart. We don't have much time. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, valid question. Can I select it? Okay.
Excellent. You pass. You haven't changed, Francis Zach Morgan. But that question isn't for me to answer. Go and see it with your own eyes. Oh, time's up. We'll have to finish this during our next reunion.
Oh, your laugh is different.
Oh, this is bad.
Failed to apprehend target. Target escaped with hostage. Whereabouts unknown.
Agent Jones, what is this referring to?
Avery Smith kidnapped Patricia Clarkson and escaped.
Oh. So there's a lot of things we're not sure about Avery Smith then.
Avery Smith? The vault manager? Why would he kidnap Patricia? Tell me what's going on right now.
Well,
Answer me, Jones.
I made a deal with Morgan back when he took me to the bathroom.
What? What?
Morgan said something to me. If we want to find Patricia, we need to look at Avery Smith.
Have you lost your mind?
What he said made sense. Ever since 2005, Avery's been working deep inside that cold storage warehouse. He was also arrested in the past for getting too friendly with Lise Clarkson.
The stalker?
And after Katrina, he apparently worked on renovating the warehouse for free. What if that allowed him to freely modify the warehouse as he pleased? That would explain why her body remained missing for 14 whole years. And then I did a little check and found out that he never went back to work after Christmas vacation ended.
So what? Why would you trust him?
I don't. I just decided it was worth investigating, that's all. So, I sent 2 agents to Avery's house without telling anyone. I just called in a favor from an old friend in the New Orleans branch.
No one gave you clearance for that. You think you can just...
But what if Morgan's telling the truth? If he is, we're both gonna look like total clowns. Clowns who went barging into a former agent's house on completely unfounded suspicions. HQ will have a field day with us. They'll string us up as the 2 dumbest agents to have ever graced the field. I just wanted to take some precautions. And besides, if he is lying, it's still no skin off our backs, right? If things work out, we'll end up solving a difficult case that's been driving everyone crazy. Imagine that. You and me, just the 2 of us, solving a case like this. I'll be able to jump ship on this crappy job, and you'll be able to freely investigate all things San Rouge, just like you've always wanted. Besides, you know that Morgan is Director Abraham's favorite. Even if we get into some sort of trouble, if Morgan testifies to Abrahams for us, we'll totally be in the clear.
I don't care. This isn't
Oh,
the way
the
things
ferry.
are supposed to be done.
Well, I'm sorry, but I had no other choice. You were so engrossed in this, and come on, you know how I am. Besides, saving the hostage should take priority above all else. There's no time for squabbling. We need to find Avery Smith no matter what it takes.
But how?
Well...
Thanks to your heroic maneuvers, we just lost our suspect.
I know, but...
I know how to find him. I should be able to see the other world, the way I am now.
Is that why Avery can see the other world as well? Something up with that?
Just let me go, please.
Morgan?
It's okay, my fairy. I know I can convince them.
Using... Oh, I have no concentration.
Definitely not the
Oh,
best
it's a
thing
rat.
for them to see right now.
I thought it was a squirrel.
If I saw that during an investigation, I wouldn't be able to stay calm and listen to someone either. Simon's lost in thought. What will his next move be? Will he follow the plan? Or... Aaliyah Davis. She's on edge, as she should be. Who wouldn't be after seeing this room?
Let's just talk to her.
Please, Aaliyah Davis, let me go. This is our case to finish.
No, you aren't an agent anymore.
But you don't know how to find him. Neither of you ever could.
Oh, I'll find him. I swear on my pride as an active agent that I won't give up until I do.
That won't get you anywhere. It's beyond you.
Shut up! You think we can't find him, but you can. Just how stupid do you think we are? If you want us to believe you, then it's about time you showed us some proof.
Then show proof, Zach. How do I show proof?
I don't have much time left. I'm pretty sure that's why I can see the other world now. I'd lost that sense ever since the Greenvale incident, but it's back now. Please, will you just trust me? Come on, Simon. You'll trust me, won't you?
What?
No, Agent Jones. Remember the warning I gave you at the very beginning? You can't let him take control of the conversation.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Oh, there's more stuff. Patricia?
A lot of time's passed since I last saw Patricia. If I hadn't gone back to Lucare, she probably would have never been kidnapped. I dragged her back into her cursed destiny. Hey, Belle. Your hypothesis was pretty much on the mark. Last week, I went back to Lucare. Then I bought a used car and got on a train in Trenton. But not for the reason you think. I wasn't stalking Patricia. And I'd never try to kidnap her.
Then why would you go there? Why would you risk so much, especially since you knew that you were under surveillance?
Because, once again, I'm chasing Sang Rouge.
Sang Rouge?
Even after I quit the FBI, I continued to study the red trees on my own. And now, I've come to the conclusion that those red seeds and Sang Rouge both come from the same roots. I also found proof that someone's inherited the original recipe. That's why I flew to Lucare, to confirm my suspicions. But I was more powerless than I ever could have imagined. I couldn't move like I used to. No badge, no gun. So, after wandering aimlessly around town, I swallowed down my torment and my weakness and left.
You expect me to believe that?
I know you've got it in you.
What's that supposed to mean?
You found Lise Clarkson's body. The one thing I never did. And only a few days after discovering the body, you came to visit me. You should be fully capable of discerning that what I'm telling you is the truth.
Talking much about oneself can also be a means to conceal oneself. You can't trick me.
Is the fairy a hint?
Helena Doman, aka Professor R. Her complicated life only added more complications to the Lucare case.
Why'd they skip all those words?
She's the one who gave the red tree a chance to take root inside her.
We'll just inspect that.
You said that she was the mastermind behind the tragedies in Lucare. That her convictions about the Clarkson bloodline are what started it all.
Yes, that's right.
She instigated her younger sister into killing her own niece. Then she committed suicide immediately after killing her father, hoping that Sheriff Woods would be able to complete her plan. How could one call such an unpredictable series of events a plan? And as we saw, Sheriff Woods chose a fate that was completely different from what she envisioned.
No, he didn't. In the end, things went exactly as she planned.
What do you mean?
At a certain point, she realized that her plan was wrong, so she tried to adjust things, using me as a pawn. But then, the unexpected happened. She and I both underestimated what Avery was capable of. That's why I'm here right now trying to convince you. In order to save Patricia's life.
The one you would least suspect is the culprit? Is that how it is?
A strange man was stalking Lise, and Patricia resembled Lise so much that I once confused them for a moment.
I think the one thing they keep throwing us off Avery is the fact that the place where Lisa's body got taken away. They keep saying that the culprit is somewhat taller than Avery, so it cannot be Avery. But so far, the only tall one that we've seen in the entire game so far is Avery.
Meaning it would be no surprise if the same man went after Patricia. Why didn't I think of that until now?
If your story is true, then why did Avery Smith kidnap Patricia?
Patricia resembles Lise.
That's true.
I even got them confused once. And Lise reported being stalked by a 10-foot man.
Lewis is on the right there.
That's Avery Smith?
Exactly.
But he's only 6'7" at best. His physical characteristics don't match the person you're talking about.
I once concluded the very same thing. But now I know. That was definitely Avery. He protected Lisa's body for the past 14 years, until you discovered his sleeping beauty.
So after losing Lisa's body, he kidnapped Patricia as a replacement? That's ridiculous. Is that really what you think happened? Even if Avery did possess that sort of mentality, it doesn't make sense. If Lise was really that important to him, he would have tried to steal her back. Not now, maybe. But certainly after she was buried.
Would you be able to go on worshipping a goddess who had been defiled by so many hands? That ice was a barrier, a shield that separated the divine from our world.
Oh, it's the rapper again. And suspicious. Oh, the drum. I never got to use that. I don't think I could ever use that. I want to look at it.
That's the eerie drum that Pastor Tyrone gave to me. The pressed flower I took from the hotel bathroom is still right on top, and it hasn't even wilted. Maybe it really was blessed with some sort of holy power. Nah.
Is it important? I want to know.
What is this drum? Please don't tell me it was a tool they planned to use for the blood purge.
Sharp eyes as usual, Belle. No. It was part of an even darker ritual. I can't even bring myself to say its name. It was far more important to our case. And far more horrible, if you can believe it.
What?
Yeah. The worst thing ever. Fetch quests.
No, that's just a drum. A drum made from 3 empty cans, animal skins, and a fragrant pressed flower.
Like I said, what is it?
Maybe it's a souvenir?
What? You expect me to believe that?
Did I just throw everyone off?
Avery showered me with key words. Smarty pants scientist, research, and lab. Why didn't I pick up on any of it? If shallow prejudice is what prevented me from taking his words seriously, then I truly am a failure as an agent.
Yeah, he did mention scientist, and I was like, what scientist? And then I realized Lena is a scientist. So he was connected with Lena in some way.
No. I know why. I was still immature as a human being.
Also, the fact that he knew about Lena's lab? I had my suspicions that Avery was a lackey being controlled by someone, but I guess being driven by his emotions is also another thing.
When I first met PJ Clarkson, how did I feel? I just thought, oh, so this is what it feels like to be in the presence of a truly powerful person. He had a very unique aura, as if he had surpassed the realm of good and evil. It's the kind of feeling you get when you come face to face with a legendary actor or an influential politician. So I was also able to sense the deep darkness that trailed behind him. The brighter the light, the darker the shadow. The more he shined, the more the people around him had to squint to shut out the light. The heat was just so intense that it forced people to shut up their hearts in order to keep from burning up. But Patricia was different. She greeted travelers with a warm embrace, like the real sun. I'm going to save her, even if I need to walk through a bullet to get there.
You said that someone inherited the Sang Rouge recipe, didn't you? Is that someone Avery Smith?
It has to be. Avery used to help Professor R do research in secret.
There we go, the dots are connecting.
What? Well, that wasn't in the report.
I only realized it just now, the moment I spilled my coffee on the floor. Avery revealed that he was helping with some sort of research. But at the time, I let his confession go in one ear and out the other. Now that I look back on it, I realize it was solid proof that he was helping her produce Sang Rouge.
What makes you think that?
He had free access to the deepest parts of the cold storage warehouse.
Oh. Wait.
Meaning...
Sang Rouge needs to be produced in an extremely cold environment.
Exactly.
Did we know that? Can't recall.
Aaliyah Davis. You already considered this possibility, didn't you? That's why you investigated the cold storage warehouse as soon as you got to Lucare, in order to locate where Sang Rouge was being made. Then, you came across Lisa's body by pure chance.
Well, seems like there's a lot more going on with the story so far. And we'll see more of it in the next video. Bye!